Got a note from our secret friend trying to set a meet.
You get caught spying. You are a dead man.
Thanks for the assist.
Mr. Hendricks, you seem to always need to be the hero. But you're a lawyer.
I am a lawyer, but what if we involved operations without involving operations?
Owen, you are in the wrong department for killing people.
How the hell did he get back in the game?
He is cunning and charming. He is absolutely ruthless.
Get it together. You're all I've got. Now go save the day.
A covert operation in South Korea with the lawyer?
Welcome to Korea. K-pop, eat some barbecue, let's roll.
And you brought me here, why?
We have 48 hours to stop an all-out war.
Oh! You are playing a dangerous game. You're playing me. What are you doing? Taking control. Hey!
They both have gone rogue.
Define rogue.
We are running out of time. We're all either gonna be dead or heroes.
But you're not a hero.
I got this. Hey!
We are going to spill every secret we busted our nuts to keep secret.
Look out!
He's convincing us he's a nobody when he's actually a rock star.
He's a real ninja of a guy, too.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for The Recruit, Season 2, streaming right now on Netflix. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things The Recruit is the one and only Nico Wan, who plays G-Min on The Recruit. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Definitely appreciate you, my friend. What are the vibes right now? You're in the midst of your new show's release, and everybody's checking out. The fans, I'm sure, are hitting people up. All the things that are going on. Just what's the energy right now as a creative?
I mean, it's super exciting. This is also my first time on a show, and especially the caliber to work with great people like Noah and Teo and really the whole cast and crew. But it's very electric. Everyone is really excited. We're still all texting each other, and I think we're number 2 right now, and we keep on being like, keep streaming it. And I'm just so glad I get to be a part of the second season because I was a huge fan of the first season, and not to be biased in any sort of way, this season's super jam-packed, and I like this season, and I'm a fan of it, and so it's really exciting to see something to come to fruition that is also being well-received and have such a great community of people that, from just people who are spectators who are watching it, but also have the cast and crew still also be so excited together for it, and that's really, really lovely. So just buzzing, really, feeling very grateful.
I love that, man. You should be happy. You should be proud. Sending you some virtual flowers through the web right now, man. Congratulations. As a fellow creative, I get the honor of showing love to my fellow creatives and filmmakers through this hosting work and through these interviews. So I know all the hard work that it takes to get here. So congratulations. As I was doing a little bit of research, I want to get to all things season 2 without spoiling, because we also want the fans to enjoy the new series and the new season. What took me by surprise whenever I'm diving in, learning about my fellow creatives and you in particular, you're a former ballroom dancer, corporate lawyer, and as you said, this is one of your first big gigs, now in the industry. How and why? And I gotta give a shout out to Ashley Buck, who helped facilitate this. I've known her for a very long time. She's wonderful. It seems like she brings a lot of people out of being lawyers into acting, because you're probably the third lawyer turned actor I've talked to of hers.
Well, I'm glad I'm working with her. To be frank, she's such like this breath of fresh air, and was so excited to work with me. And I'm again so new to the industry, and just learning day by day that she's been such a great friend and mentor and someone to get to work with. But so I used to be a ballroom dancer. I used to compete with Canada, for Canada. Actually, I'm based in LA, but I remember being 14 and sharing the same change rooms as Derek Huff, like from Dancing with the Stars. He's a bit
Legend,
older, but,
legend.
I was in the junior levels and he was in the more adult levels, and now then seeing him on Dancing with the Stars and how his career is, so that's lovely. And then obviously being a lawyer, which we can absolutely go into. I'm the only son and child of an Asian immigrant family, so being a professional was really important. Really loved the strategy aspect and the ability to work with clients, but my family, let's just say everyone was surprised, including my family, or more so my family, about this transition. Yeah.
As a fellow Asian,
Yes.
I understand that wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Because I got the same looks when I got into this field, brother. So it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's been a very wild ride, but I think that I've been so lucky since I made that decision. And I definitely took a lot of time before I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to do this. But ever since then, I think I've just been, again, I say this, I'm beating a dead horse, but sometimes things happen for a reason-ish, per se. I remember I decided I wanted to do this, and then I ended up leaving my job and went to go on a vacation to celebrate being free from the chains of corporations, per se, and then came back. And again, I have an amazing team. I'm so grateful for my team. They got me this audition, and then I was off filming like 2 weeks later, effectively. And I remember coming on set and being so nervous, and everyone from the crew, cast and crew in South Korea to North America, they were so heartwarming. Noah and Teo. I mean, I can go on and get emotional for days about it, but
I love that for you, man. I love that. And you seem so perfect. I read, again, you doing my homework, about like 7 languages, former lawyer. This like role seems kind of, even though you're a gangster, you're kind of playing both fences in this season. It kind of feels tailor-made for you.
It is really interesting. Sometimes I pinch myself wholeheartedly, because I remember the moment I first saw Noah, and then I first saw Teo on screen. I combined their names in one. I clearly need more coffee. And then I remember when I was younger, I used to work in Korea a lot. So I used to work in Korea as like a summer associate for a law firm there, and then I would spend all my summers there. And before going to law school, I was a pre-med student, so I used to intern at at Yonsei Severance Hospital at the dermatology clinic there. And so it's so funny now, like when I go back, there's so much nostalgia involved in it, and I never thought that this would be the opportunity that I would get to come back to South Korea, because it was such a meaningful place for me to grow up, just like as a young adult. But yeah, absolutely. Like insane. I think that like the language skills definitely helped, but people always ask like, how do you do it? And I say, I'm an only child, and I spend a lot of time alone. That's really it. I am very different from Jimin, who I love dearly. He is I would say, more chaotic side version of me, and I stay at home and I'm like on my computer doing work, like an attorney often does.
That's so dope. So let's talk about G-Man for a little bit.
Sure.
How different he is from you, and just the deliciousness of playing somebody like this, and to inflect different elements that, as actors, I'm an actor as well, to just play around with that. And for those that aren't familiar, if you could tell everyone about G-Man a little bit.
For sure. So Jimin is a gangster living in South Korea, and he is an informant for the Korean National Intelligence Service, specifically Tae Yu's character, Chang Yun. And so without just being an informant, he kind of plays almost a double agent in a way, he makes poor decisions for himself and gets him into a lot of trouble, I would say. And he gets a little beat up both mentally and physically through the episodes that you'll see him in. And, it was a really fun character to play. Yeah, I think that I myself have always been quite controlled. There are very much chaotic moments to me, but Jimin is like the guy who, if it's similar to me, like, oh, we might have this interesting idea, let's think it through, is what my very high risk averse lawyer brain says. And he'll be like, let's just do it, right? And so it was really fun to kind of just lean into that and create a character. And I remember seeing myself on screen for the first time, being like, oh, that doesn't that's me, but that doesn't look like me, in the way where it's such a different essence of a human. And it was just great. It was a lovely experience, and I love Jimin, although I think he needs to, just think things through a little bit more, man.
That's crazy. Because of kind of like your similarities in and where this was shot, and then the kind of like the makeup of the show, and you being being an attorney previously, were there like any notes like that maybe they gave you or you gave them to help them kind of maybe build out, even though we all know how it works on film. A lot of this stuff is already pre-written and everything's there, it's set up, but maybe sometimes you would just on the fly to just make it feel more timely in ways.
I mean, I think it was written really well, and it was really Alexi and they both directed me in such a way where I felt super comfortable because I was on set. And obviously I got to rehearse with Teo beforehand too for some of our larger scenes, and so there was a lot of playfulness to that, talking about how the characters would talk to each other. And I think that the ability to have different takes while we're kind of in the moment and for us to try different things was really lovely. I mean, in terms of my own opinion and putting it in there, I think that you'll probably see more of it if I look through the takes. A lot of the swearing at the end of it is very much from personal experiences of having heard these things, which I think is quite fun. And they allowed me to kind of just explore and be as angry as I wanted or as frustrated as I wanted. And, it was a very collaborative, creative experience. And, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. I am so grateful that I got to work with people that were so supportive in expressing what they wanted for you, and it allowed you to kind of take what their essence was and kind of breathe life into it, which is something that I really appreciate. I know that in this industry, especially as someone who's a newcomer like myself, you hear a lot of stories of egos and kind of just poor situations that can happen, and I have never for 1 second on both teams ever felt that way whatsoever. Everyone talked about how special shooting this season was, and the cast and crew, and I don't have anything else to really compare it to be honest, but I just know that I felt so grateful being on there, and everyone gave me the time of day for any questions I had, and they didn't need to. Everyone was super busy, so that ability helped me, I think, just kind of jump into character and to be Jimin, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Steps you can take forward so you can feel somewhat like a veteran the next go round.
Yeah, I mean, I think now I think jumping into this industry and then getting this role so quickly was very much as much as I was going to take it, and I'm so grateful for it, it was very much like a hit in your face imposter syndrome. Right? Just because, again, I used to work 16-hour days in front of a laptop, right? I have stark memories of going to the bathroom at 3 a.m., being like, confirm receipt, will handle, right? And now kind of being on somewhat of a stage and doing something that's a little bit different, especially with such seasoned filmmakers, right? Not just actors and writers. And I questioned a lot about, can I really do this? And, I was so fortunate through this experience and through talking to Teo and one of my other really good friends in the crew, Christian Brune, it just allowed me for the next time when I do something like this to trust in my own decisions and my own ability a little bit more. And I think every creative has that. For me, it was just such a stark contrast that I at first was like, I'm air, like I don't know anything, like anything you want, I'll do. And now I think that this has emboldened me to trust my own instincts more. And I think that that's super beneficial just in anyone's career, but especially in something that has to do with emotions and art.
Definitely. And I want to thank you for saying that. I have a lot of other fellow creatives and filmmakers, actors, that watch what I'm doing. And with you sharing that, that helps show that we're all going through the same thing a lot. And that means a lot, man. So it makes it so real.
I mean, thank you. I'm honestly just saying, I think that like I never thought I could do this, to be very frank. And so I admire anyone that puts themselves out there to try something new, to pursue their passions. And every day, even when you're doing really well, there will be a moment in time, as I'm sure you know this as well as a fellow creative, you're just like, what am I doing with my life? Like, can I really do this? Is this happening? And then it cycles through, and to know that that's okay and to trust in the process, as people say, and trust in yourself because you're doing it for a reason. At least for me, it helps me get through the day, and it allows me, I feel like it's a universal creative issue again.
Definitely. I love it. Keep building, my friend. As creatives, we got to continue pushing that energy onto each other and just keeping that vibe flowing. I love it, man. And congratulations with everything on the recruits. With you being versed in the area and everything, when you got to filming, as we were kind of like talking about earlier, were you like the go-to guy? So where are the cool spots we need to go to when we're not, on camera and we're filming?
Oh, I mean, I don't think I was that person per se. I definitely left it up to our cast that was living in South Korea and crew that was helping out more. I was just really lucky to be able to come on board and eat good food and hang out. I will say that, sometimes we're not obviously shooting every day, and especially not me, but I remember talking to some of our friends that I made on set, be like, what are you doing? And like, you're always going out to like meet people. Who are you meeting? And I'd be like, oh, this is like the people that I used to work with at the law firm, or I'm having lunch here. So that was really lovely. And I got to introduce some of my friends to some of my older friends who had lived there in my older version of my life. But yeah, that was really fun, but definitely not a leader in terms of the planning whatsoever. I also just think, coming from Asia changes so quickly. Every 3-4 months, it's a new hot restaurant scene that's going on. And every summer, I remember I used to go back to Korea, and every summer, inevitably, back in the day, like this summer, Thai food is really, really big. So we have to go to all the Thai food restaurants. And the next summer, it's Indian food and XYZ. And so I'm definitely not cool enough and definitely not on trend to show anybody anything. I am classically the guy that goes to 7-Eleven and says, like, this is great. We should just order from here, right? So yeah.
I dig it. I'm a foodie though too, so I'm like, where are all the spots? We got to hit up the spots. So
it's dangerous though, especially in Asia, because everything is so convenient. I really love to eat. So even in my background as a lawyer, my focus was on food and agricultural technology. So I was really interested in alternative meats and like different ways of creating, like even lab grown meats themselves. Just like the concept of food has been always interesting to me. I used to train on how to cook when I was living in Asia for a little bit in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
So food to me has been so big of a deal. When you're an actor and you're kind of like filming, I'm like, oh gosh, I like shouldn't eat this like third bowl of rice for the third day in a row because I'm filming tomorrow. And so I think that the beautiful thing that once my scenes ended, I got to have like a little bit of time to go just like eat food. That was great. I won't lie. The best, right? So.
Awesome. Let me again remind everybody, The Recruit season 2 is streaming right now on Netflix. Check out my man Nico Wan as G-Min, and hit us up in the comments with any questions, and hopefully I can bring Nico back so we can talk more and also celebrate his other wins, because I know he's going to be putting it down on quite a few other projects as he makes his way through this industry. Another thing I want to talk to you about outside of The Recruit, because again, like I was saying, I do my research, Nico.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your
one of the
kind
things
words.
that I really like that I saw is you have your own project that you're trying to do, and it's called Lily, if I'm not mistaken. The themes of it, from what I read, I'll let you talk about it, just seems super cool and so timely for right now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So the film's name is Lily. It's the name of two friends. They're best friends going on a journey, very much, I would say, paying ode to a modernized version of Harold and Kumar, right? These are best friends, and the fundamental part of the movie is about friendship and what would you do for your best friend if your best friend's life was on the line, right? And I joke about this, and hopefully this comes out in the best way. I always say, well, who is your best friend in the world, and what would you do for your best friend in the world? Would you like cut off your balls for your best friend? That's like the question that we answer in this film in a very, non-gory, non-horror, funny kind of way. So it's called Lily because both friends are called Lee. One is a Mandarin speaker as a second language, and one is a Cantonese speaker, and so it's L-I and L-E-E. The Mandarin-speaking Lee is someone who grew up in America but was constantly on student visas, and he has a boss that's kind of threatening him to take away his visa, and so him and his best friend go on a journey to kind of find specific items to appease the boss so he gets to keep and stay in America. And it was just something that has happened, frankly, to a lot of my friends. But on a general basis, it's a fun movie that we're really excited about kind of making. It came out of a brainchild of me laughing with my friends and wanting to explore and write more about the industry. And now we've kind of gotten our first injection of funding for it. We've done a table read for it. And so
love it.
Thank you very much. And so we're really excited to kind of continue forward with everything now. I really was trying to, now that the recruit has come out, I wanted to take the time to really kind of appreciate, everything that happens with the recruit. And now that we move forward, down the month and so, I'm excited to kind of also pick this back up as well and properly and officially take it on the road, I'll say. But it's an exciting story. I really love it. And I think that it's just a fun way to talk about something that is an issue for a lot of people in a non super serious way where it's not kind of coming down to your throats. And I also think that it's also just lovely in creating film, like in deeper meaning. Like we have a lot of, Asian diaspora stories, which are really important. But as someone who is Asian American too, I just think that it's fun to just have a story that is just with two Asian leads, and it's just a fun, good time. And I liked watching those stories. And so hopefully I'll be able to bring that to the screen as well.
Dude, I want to talk to you again as that develops. As a proud Asian American, Filipino, by the way, yeah. I'm all about our stories. And just like I said, when I was reading the breakdown on that in your press kit, I was like, yes. And then just by what you're saying, I know there's a lot of layers there. And, we want you also want to make it very open to everyone, but also as an Asian American, the fact that we're getting our story and those elements in there, in making it palatable way for those that don't understand, but also to speak on it is so important. We have to figure out our approaches in this industry, right? And dude, as that continues, please let's come back and talk again. So this is your first project that you've developed on your own. That you're writing and everything, and so like maybe next year projected plans, or we're still just getting everything together right now? It's still kind of raw.
So right now we're in a dream scenario. We'll get this sorted with financing and figuring out all the stuff in the next couple months, either to hopefully be released sometime next year. Again, I'm so new to this that I'm just kind of starting. I've had a great team and such great friends that have been so supportive of this kind of endeavor of mine that was truly something that I thought was going to be shelved just for myself. Ideally it'll be out next year if we can push it, but it'll be out regardless at one point. Well, my 16-hour work mentality, as my friends tell me, is no chill, and so somehow I'll make it work, right? That's the plan.
Dude, again, I want to talk to you as that develops, man. Because when they don't create opportunities for us, we got to create. Well, when as Asian Americans, as creatives, as people of color in this industry, it's very difficult, and we're all competing for the same gigs, and they're very few. So we got to create our own opportunities, and so I love this for you. Again, I want to hear more as it develops, but props to you, man, and just learn as much as you can, because I'm sure you're gonna be wearing so many hats. You're probably gonna be acting and directing, and it's a lot. But stay the course. Stay the course.
I will absolutely try, and I'll call you if I want to cry one day. I'll be like, please remember me. We talked, and I'm like shedding a tear, man.
All the love, my friend. Congrats on the recruits. It's a pleasure chatting with you, Nico. Yeah, awesome, man. I just love to see things like that, and I hope this can be kind of like that jump off point with having kind of such a big project to help facilitate that as well. Because it's why I got in the business. You know what I'm saying? We got to make our way. There's a bunch of IPs. You know, I'd love to be in Star Wars. I'd love to be in this. I'm sure you as well, right? But there's also certain things that you want to tell your own story within this to, you know, inspire and educate the rest of the folks out there.
Yeah, well, thank you. You're explaining it better than I am, so thank you very much for doing it. I'll have to really like talk points with you when we have to do the next one.
Would love it. All right, Nico, thank you so much for your time. Let me again remind everybody: Nico Wan is in The Recruit Season 2, G-Men, streaming right now on Netflix. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Now we're recording. All right, let's rock and roll. All right.
Sure.
In a 1, 2, 3.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more Black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds Rule.
Love it.
It's your boy Kuya P, Nerds Rule the World. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Do. They rule the world all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.